What's going on, guys? So today is Father's Day. This is my father's. If you can't tell, this goes onto a gate latch. If you look in here, there's cracks and it's almost about to fall off. So basically this kind of looks just like conduit that's been smashed down, and you got some square holes in there. The only thing that needs to be replaced is just this. We went to Lowe's and Home Depot, and lo and behold, they do not sell just this. You have to buy the whole mechanism, which is like 15 bucks or $13 or something like that. I forgot. But anyways, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna use this. A 1/2 inch by 10 inch piece of steel black pipe. This is considerably, it doesn't look thicker, but this does taper. I don't know if you can see the taper on that. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut the end off of this. We're going to try to smash that down and drill some holes in it. We will have to either grind the end of this, or we'll grind the end off of the latch part itself, because this is a bit bigger than this. Here in Oklahoma we have some really strong winds, especially where my parents live. They're building houses around them, so eventually there'll be more houses and it'll probably cut down on some of that wind and all that. But as of right now, lots of wind, so let's go ahead and start to repair this. So again, this is that 1/2 inch by 10 inch black pipe. This is made for like gas lines and stuff like that, super heavy duty. So again, we're just going to cut this end off, and I'm just going to use the metal cut saw, but you could use a porta band or a porta band on a stand. You could use a grinder with a cutoff disc. You could use a die grinder with a cutoff disc. You could use a sawzall with a metal cutting blade, or you could use just a little saw like that. Alright, so I got that cut off. Again, you can use whatever method you want. This is just the fastest for me, so that's what I'm going to use. But don't get discouraged if you don't have it, because those other methods will work just as well. Just take a little bit longer. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean up this sharp edge. You can do that with sandpaper if you want to. I'm going to use a grinder. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. So now we need to pound this down flat. So this isn't going to pound down very flat. So there's a couple things we can do. Just get a sledgehammer and go after it. It'll probably eventually work. We might could heat it up with a propane torch. That'll take a really long time. I have a oxyacetylene, so I will be doing that to heat it up so we can pound this flat. We need about 3 inches or so that's beaten down flat. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this, put it out on the torch and heat it up so we can smack it flat. This is why it's important to wear safety glasses. It's a piece of hot metal embedded into the safety glasses there. Alright, so there we go. Got that pretty spot on. So now we need to cut the top off of here, where this is all going to meet up. I think before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes. Just because it'll give me a little bit more leverage whenever I'm trying to hold onto this piece to cut these holes. So let's get that marked out. And you don't have to use this, but yeah, makes it nice. Just makes it a little bit nicer for the holes. Okay, so I just rounded the corners off just a little bit. Not as round as that is. I mean, that looks really nice, but at least taking off part of the jagged edge, so it kind of looks nicer. So now I got to cut this to length. Oh, that's hot. Just came off the grinder. Have that there. We just need to cut off right about there. So let's do that. There we go. All right, let's go clean this up. All right, so here's the other issue. All right, so hopefully you can see how much thicker this is than this. If we put that butt to butt, there's a bit of a difference. So what we're gonna have to do is kind of shave this down just a little. I'm gonna do just a little bit on this, and the actual locking mechanism, I'm gonna do the inside of that as well. We don't need a lot of strength here. We need it mostly right here, right where the force is to try to bend this, right, the thinnest part. And so we've definitely made up for it in thickness there. You can see the difference on that. I don't know how well that's showing up, but trying to be as honest as I can. There's a good. You can definitely tell a thickness difference in that. So, and that'll be all we need for this. So, yeah, I'm just going to take this over, and again, you can sand it with sandpaper. You can use a hand grinder. You can use a bench grinder. If I thought about it before, I'd have put it in the lathe, and I could turn part of that down. That would have been a whole lot easier. But yeah, those are kind of the different options that you can do. But just to knock some of the circumference off of this just a little bit. So there we are. I have some emery cloth. This will help kind of get out the scratches. Not that it really matters, because we're going to be putting a coat of paint on here. Okay, to get around inside the latch part, they have rat tail files that you can use. You can just use the rat tail file to get it to the size that you need. Or if you have a little Dremel, something like that, with grinding stone, or even the paper will work. What I'm going to use is my die grinder, because my dad does have a small air compressor, and this bit right here, and that'll work quite nice. So there it is, got it all painted up. Just need to let it dry, and I'll throw a couple coats of paint on there. Then that should be ready to go. Alright, that helps somebody out. Comment right. Thanks for watching. See ya.